Hi, I'm Steve Duval from Thor Motor Coach. This is Getting to Know Your RV, and in this video we are going to get to know the Venetian. The Venetian is a luxury Class A diesel pusher. There are a lot of features inside and outside, and we're going to start on the outside. We're going to walk down your campsite here. We're going to open every single bay. We're going to talk about all the features you'll find inside the bay. We're going to talk about tires. We'll work our way around. We're going to talk about towing. We will work our way up the other side where we'll talk about all of your hookups, and then we will go inside and talk about all the features and functions and show you how to use everything. So we're going to start out here, and we're going to start right up front with your mirror. You do have a camera right up top, which is really nice. A crystal clear, massive display inside. Whenever you turn in your directional, you'll see a nice clear image of what is to the right or to the left of you. The top portion of the mirror you adjust inside like you do with your automobile with a little switch. Then down here, you have to manually come out and adjust this. On the other side, on the driver's side, you can usually reach through with your arms and adjust the mirror, sit back in your seat till it's perfect. You may need a little help with this one, have somebody come out here and adjust it for you. As we go to the entry door, this is a front door diesel. There are a number of switches inside, which we'll talk about once we work our way around. But one of the first things you want to do is there's a switch inside that says house battery. Turn it to on. You'll see the word house battery illuminated. Now you know that your house batteries are on. Now, the nice thing about having that switch there, and it is illuminated, you'll know it's on, and you'll want to turn it on and keep it on before you start your trip. Because when you fire that up, it turns on all the 12-volt systems in your motorhome. Now, our house batteries are tied into our chassis batteries, so when you're driving down the road with your house battery on, when you're driving, you will charge your house batteries. When your generator is running, you'll charge your house batteries. When you're plugged into shore power, you're going to charge your house battery. So everything is tied together. So keep that house battery on. The only time you're going to want to turn that off is when you are storing your motorhome for the winter. Now you can actually physically disconnect with the switch. You can disconnect your chassis battery, but your house batteries will still start to drain. So you have a couple of options. You can go over and disconnect them, and there are 6 house batteries in this motorhome. Or you can take, and if you have the option wherever you store your motorhome, there are some adapters you can use. You can actually plug it in and keep that charge going. So we will come back to here and show you all the switches here, but we're going to start with your battery disconnect switch. There's also on your door handle here, I do want to point out you have 2 locks, an upper lock and a lower lock. The lower lock just locks your handle. The top is a deadbolt, so depending on the amount of security that you're going for, maybe you're just running over to the bathhouse, you think, okay, the handle's good enough, and then at night you can lock your deadbolt. We have a nice grab handle here when you're going in, and then on the inside you'll have 3 points of contact. You do have a fuel fill on both sides, which is really nice, and they are above the belt line. So either side, you don't have to worry about pulling in and waiting. You can pull up to either side, easy to fill up, and they are right up front. So you just kind of line it right up here with your shoulder, and you're pretty close to being dead on with the pump. You have nice large tires on this. We're going to talk a little bit about tire maintenance when we get down to the back, because this is the tag axle. The Venetian comes in a tag axle and a non-tag. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference there. As we work on down to our first bay, the Venetian has so much storage, so many large bays in here. And a couple of items to talk about here. This is a nice pebble grain. It's white. So one that helps with illumination, and each bay does have its own light. It is durable, it is not going to mold, it is not going to mildew. And to top it all off, new materials, we have an Asdal, a polystyrene, and a fiberglass that we vacuum bond, so there's no organic materials in your basement. There are bays that are heated as well, so we'll talk about that when we get down a little bit. But nice large storage bays, because in a diesel motorhome, you're going to be gone much longer. Maybe you are full-timing. We want to make sure you have the cargo carrying capacity to take along everything that you want to take with you. And that's part of why we include this pull-out storage tray, 800-pound capacity. The nice thing about this is you can take and load it from either side. It operates with a lever here. You can slide it in, you can slide it out. Right here what we do have, I just will show you just some spare pieces of your porcelain tile flooring. This is a hand-laid porcelain tile floor inside. It's absolutely gorgeous, and in the event something would happen, we do supply you with a few extra pieces of tile. Nice slam latch doors. They are going to stay shut for you. After you unload and load always lock your bays. Always lock your bays, especially before you hit the road, because sometimes you may think it's closed. You thought, oh, I closed it, or you forgot, and you don't want it to come flying open. So make sure that you do lock your bays before you drive. Little exterior TV. Oh, look at this. Okay, so a few things we're going to talk about here. So you have this large TV, you have a Bluetooth sound bar. There's a remote inside for this sound bar, and we'll show you where all the remotes are kept. So you can pair this with your phone. You just pull out your phone and you go to Bluetooth, you turn this on, you go to pair, and then you can connect your Bluetooth soundbar to your phone so you can stream your favorite music if you'd like. To watch TV, the speakers are tied into here, so you can take, and this is going to give you some nice drive-in theater sound while you are outside and wherever you may be set up. But this also is on a swivel, so the whole thing comes out. So you can take and swivel it to your liking. So a nice exterior TV. And on a day like today, when maybe you just are going to hang out and you're going to watch some afternoon golf or whatever it may be and the sun's bright, and we're going to go over Rapid Camp Plus. I've already downloaded the app on my phone. There are 2 awnings on this motorhome. You want to go to the Vega Touch Mira app, and it is fully featured. So whether you are working from your phone or you are working from inside or even sitting down at the cockpit, there are so many different features on this. But we are out here, and we're going to take and put out 2 awnings here. You have an awning over the door, and you have a patio awning up above your slide wall here. So all you have to do is hit the extend button. It comes out, you can see the light is already on. You have a nice patio light. Just hit the switch, you can turn the light on or off as you please. And as this comes out, I'll talk about a couple of the great features of this. It has a wind sensor on it. So in the event that you do leave it out and a gust of wind kicks up and you're gone, it will come back in. But we do recommend that if you're going away for an excursion for the day, bring your awning in. Same thing at night, make sure that you do have it in case a crazy gust of wind comes through or weather kicks up. But just like that, your awnings do come out, and again, you do have one just over the door that you can keep out as well. So a couple of great features for the awning, and again, you can control them from inside or outside. And the great thing about this, having the controls on your phone, is when you've pulled into a campsite, and sometimes you know, you get a site and it may be a little bit tighter than what you like, and you want to make sure that your awning isn't hitting trees. Well, you can take and stand out here and put this out and make sure that you are indeed giving yourself enough room. You can also do the same thing with your slide walls, which is great. So you're not opening them up and, you know, the picnic table is right here, or there's a branch or another vehicle or a person. So some great features with your Rapid Camp Plus and your awnings. As that bay goes, as the awning goes in, a couple of things to talk about. You know what, while this is going, let's talk about your windows here. We have nice frameless windows, and they open awning style. There's a little knob you turn it clockwise, they open, just like this. You turn it counterclockwise and they will close. If you like to remove the screens, you can just pop those out. There are little pins at the corner there, but nice windows all the way around. And the nice thing about having the windows pitch open like this is in the event it's raining out, you can still get a breeze. You don't have to worry about the rain going in your window, but a lot of nice windows here, and on a crisp fall morning like we're having here in Indiana, you'll just get a nice breeze blowing through, especially when you open up your fan. So as that goes in, a little port here. This is the water lines for your freezer. You do have a residential refrigerator with water dispenser and ice maker, and in the event you need to service the water lines, those are located in here. Opening this bay, another large pass-through storage bay here. You do have that really awesome looking Venetian mud flap there. When you get this, you can chain this on the back there, keep stones from kicking up. Plus it looks really cool. All right, so a couple of things to talk about in this bay. On top of all of the storage that you have, you do have a couple of outlets here. You have some 110 outlets here. They are GFCI outlets, so you can plug anything in you want out here. The one thing to keep in mind, if they are not working because they are GFCI outlets, there is going to be a reset typically found in the bathroom. We'll talk about that when we go inside. You can go and you can hit the reset button on that, and these work just like the ones at your home. If you have tripped it and the light's on, you just hit the reset button, and then there's a good chance that these will start working again. Something else you'll find in this bay, you do have a central vacuum system in here, and you open this up And there are some bags in here, so you can go ahead and change your vacuum bag, and then you can sweep up the floor. We'll show you how that works when we go inside. There's a dust kick pan, so some really great features in here, really easy to keep things clean. And that is this bay. Again, nice slam latch doors. Right here, you do have your fresh water tank. There are a couple of ways to fill this, and the way this is set up is really, really nice. Because this is a very, very large motorhome, you may not always have access to the other side to fill up your fresh water tank. Well, all you have to do is unscrew this cap. You put your hose in here. It is a hose for potable water. It is white with the blue stripe, and there's a little vent up top, and you'll know that your tank is full. You can watch it fill up here, but when you see water trickle out the little vent here, you'll know that that is full. When we go over to the other side, we'll show you how to fill up with a couple of options over there as well, but this is one way to fill up your fresh water tank. Over here, we do have a docking light. We'll show you how to turn those on when we go inside. So you can, you have a light here and a couple of lights out back, and we'll show you how to turn those on when we go inside. We got a lot happening back here. We have tires we need to talk about. We also have tag axle to talk about. So we are going to start with your tires, tire maintenance, and tire pressure. Okay, these are very large tires, and you have a lot of them on here. What you need to do is make sure you are maintaining proper tire pressure. It is really, really important to make sure you check your tire pressure when the tires are cool, okay? You don't want to run down the road and check them while they're hot. And one of the reasons you want to keep your tires up to the proper inflation is if they are underinflated, you don't have enough PSI in them, you're going to get more surface area on the ground. That is going to get extremely hot. You don't want your tires heating up. You could have a blowout. Same on the other end. You don't want to put too much air in your tires because you don't have as much surface on the road. The tires are going to be very hard and be more prone to punctures. So make sure that you are maintaining the proper PSI in your tires, and there are labels inside. Right next to the driver's chair, you're going to see a number of stickers with a number of little tidbits of information on there. It's important you look at those and use a tire gauge. We have a big one like this, really easy to do. You unscrew the cap and you check your tire pressures. And again, make sure that you are checking your tires when they are cool. So the Venetian comes in a tag axle and a non-tag axle. This is your tag axle. This is a third axle. This is a non-drive axle. There's a tire on each side. And what this does, besides make your motorhome look really, really awesome, is it's going to increase the support here at the rear of your motorhome. You're also going to get a lot more carrying capacity. There are brakes here as well, so you're going to have a much better stopping power. The other nice thing is because you now have a shorter distance between here and the end of the coach and here and the end of the coach. And what that is going to do is that is going to help with your departure angle. So if you're going down something that is a very, very steep slope, there's less of a chance that you'll scrape your frame or your hitch. The way we get these tag axles from Freightliner, it's equipped with what is called Ultra-Steer, and there are a number of benefits to that. One of the first things to mention is that these actually turn. These tires actually turn with you, so they will follow the front suspension to give you a much tighter turn. The other benefit to having the tires turn is you are not going to get tire scrub on the outer sidewall here, so they are going to wear a lot better for you. So a couple of benefits there: longer tire life, and you're going to get a nice tighter turning radius. The nice thing about this setup here is when you hit 20 miles per hour, they are going to lock for you, so they will not turn, they'll stay straight, so nice and true and straight. And the same thing when you are in reverse, the tires will stay locked, so when you are traveling in reverse, that they're going to stay locked for you. But when you do slow down and you do start to make those turns, they turn with you. It's a really great benefit. It is Ultra-Steer, and again, the Venetian has a tag axle and a non-tag axle version. Almost done with this side. Up top, we do have a vent for your dryer, as you do have a stackable washer and dryer in here. And these two bays we are going to open together as they are kind of tied into each other. So we'll start in this bay. You do have solar charging up top. This is a 30 amp solar charger controller where you can check the amp hours, you can check the voltage coming in, the voltage of your batteries. If you would like to add more panels up top, there is strapping and wires up there for you, so all you have to do is really just plug and play. Put your panels up there and you're good to go. You can really just kind of set this and forget it. It's going to keep your house batteries nice and topped off. Your pure sine inverter is up in here. We'll talk a little more about that when we talk about Rapid Cam Plus. And I want to focus on this panel right now. First, we'll talk about your chassis battery disconnect. If you would like to take and completely disconnect your chassis battery, you can go ahead and turn that to the off position. When we get to the other side, we'll talk a little bit about your house batteries. Don't forget though, when you do disconnect this, turn it to the off position when you are winterizing. When you come back out for spring to start it up and it's not firing up, you're going to want to go ahead and turn that to on. What you are seeing here, these are all resettable fuses for all the 12 volt systems in your motorhome. Everything is clearly labeled from your solar panel to your dash radio to your front bunk bed to your macerator. If something is not working, again, these are resettable. It'll pop out. You simply press the button and you go ahead and reset it. When we go inside, we'll take a look at your 110 breaker box. So we're going to shut up here, head around back. We're going to talk about the features on the rear portion of your Venetian. On the back side here, a few items to point out. We do have a ladder here, 250-pound ladder. This will take you up. We have a domed fiberglass roof on top of this Venetian. This will be used to climb up to the roof to go and do maintenance, to check on items, to add that extra solar panel we just talked about. Not something you want to go up and you're out there and you think you're going to go and maybe throw some lounge chairs up there and have a drink. Just climb up this ladder, make sure you're being safe, and maintenance purposes on the roof. As we look at the very, very top, we do have some marker lights coming down right below those. We do have two docking lights. Again, we have two docking lights on each side. We have two here. We'll show you how to put those on when we go inside. And in between, you have your backup camera, which is really, really nice. So you can put the motorhome in reverse. You'll get a nice crystal clear image behind you. You can also turn the camera on to see behind you at all times, which is always great, especially when you are towing, which we'll talk about when we get down just a little bit lower, but not before we show you what is behind the hatch here. We do have a lot of features to talk about back here. This is your motorhome. It is a diesel pusher, so the diesel engine is in the rear. Let's talk quickly about the engine in the Venetian. Depending on the floor plan, if you have the tag axle, you're going to have an ISL 8.9 liter engine with 400 horsepower and 1,250 pound-feet of torque. On the non-tags, you still have the ISL 8.9 liter, but you have 380 horsepower and 1,150 pound-feet of torque. This gauge here is for your air filter, which is right over here on the other side. It will tell you when to change. This is a diagnostic port for your chassis, so if you would take it into Freightliner for service, they'll plug in here and they'll be able to read the codes for your chassis. Right over here, we do have coolant. So if you are going to take and fill your coolant, this is where you're going to do it. Check your transmission fluid here, and you check your engine oil right there with the dipstick. And just like anything else, there is maintenance that you do need to do on this. So make sure you are reading the owner's manual and following up and keeping up with your maintenance. As we move down, again, we do have our tail lights, we do have our reverse lights, we do have a place for your license plate over here. We have a 7-pin connector. And we do have our trailer here. Now we do have, depending on the model of Venetian that you get, the tag axles, like this one here, are going to have a 15,000 pound hitch. The non-tags are going to have a 10,000 pound hitch. Something you need to keep in mind when you are towing, there are a few numbers, and remember we talked about all the stickers inside, so we're going to show you these stickers as we talk about the items here, because this is all important to know, especially as you load up your Venetian and get it ready to head out on your adventure. One item you need to know is your gross vehicle weight. This is going to be the curb weight, plus the weight of your cargo, your water, your passengers. Your gross combined weight rating is the weight of everything, your people, your passengers, and this includes your tow vehicle. You can find the information on the specs page on thormotorcoach.com. It is going to look just like this. You pull up Venetian, the specs page, and you will see your GCWR. This yellow label right here is your occupant and cargo carrying capacity, your OCCC. This number is how much weight you can actually add to the motorhome. Your gross vehicle weight rating, your GVWR, is the maximum allowable weight of a fully loaded Venetian. The tongue weight is the amount of trailer's weight that actually presses down on the trailer hitch here. So when you do hook up, what you do need to do to figure out how much you can tow is you take the gross combined weight rating and you subtract it from your gross vehicle weight, and that will give you the number on how much you need to tow. Now we do have an entire video on towing weights and capacity. and that is going to be linked in the description. Something else that you're going to want to do, because once you load this up, it's going to drive a lot different than it does the day it leaves the factory. We align it here at the factory, but once you get all of your gear in there, you're going to want to take and have it aligned because you want it to drive the way you are going to use it. So make sure that you're getting that aligned after you have it fully loaded. We're going to walk around to the other side here, and we are going to talk about power, and we are going to hook up some sewer. Over on this side, a couple of items to point out. We talked about your air box for your engine. That is up here. Opening this bay, we talked a little bit about your house batteries. You have 6 house batteries. They are back here. And again, you're going to want to turn on your house battery switch, keep it on and leave it on, and these will fire up and again power the 12-volt systems in your motorhome. Right here we do have just a little access bay for some plumbing. Down here is your diesel exhaust fluid. This tank is going to have a gauge on the dash as well as here to let you know how much diesel exhaust fluid you do have in your tank. This is going to help your diesel fuel burn a lot cleaner. You are going to need to fill that up, and again, just watch the gauge. It'll tell you where you are, and you're going to be able to put diesel exhaust fluid in wherever you buy your diesel fuel. Right up top, I do want to point out, because we do have a number of slides on this motorhome, what you're seeing up top are not awnings, they are slide toppers, and there are a number of benefits to having those. So when your slide goes out, that slide topper is going to go out and completely cover the top of your slide. That is going to protect it from debris. We are out here in the middle of fall. We have a lot of leaves falling from the tree, and if you are out somewhere camping in a nice wooded area, the last thing you want is leaves and sticks and debris to be falling on the top of your slide room. If that happened, you put it in, you'd run into a lot of problems. Also, during inclement weather, when it's raining, you might have some leakage. So with these slide toppers here, that will keep the top of your slide room nice and clean. As we move on down, we do have a few more tires. We talked about tire maintenance. We do have another marker light. We're going to go up, open our bays. We're going to hook up our power, and we're going to hook up our plumbing. Right through here, time to have a little fun. Hook up some plumbing, hook up some sewer. I brought props, so you know we're going to have a good time. So this is your whole home filtration system, and we have a lot of features and functions to talk about. One thing you're going to want to carry with you, gloves. One, keep your hands nice and warm on a brisk fall day like this, but two, because this is your sewage, you are going to want to make sure that you are wearing gloves. We're going to start over here and work our way around to this side. So we have here our exterior shower. So this is great for when you're coming back from, a walk on the beach and your feet are all sandy. You can take and rinse those off. There's even hot water here. You do have your low point drains here, so when you want to drain your fixtures, you can go ahead and switch those and your fixtures will drain. Right down below here, we do have a fresh water tank drain. Nice valve here. You just simply crack the valve and you go ahead and you will drain your fresh water tank when you are ready to just sanitize it or winterize. And you can do all of that right from here. So this valve guide here, we have a couple of things to talk about depending on what you plan on doing. So I guess we'll talk about our freshwater hose. This is a hose that you're going to need to fill the fresh water if you do it from the other side here. What's nice about this is you also have a power reel. And this is real easy to use. You just go ahead and you pull this out and you hook it to the campsite, and you can go ahead and power reel yourself back in. Now, we have a couple of ways to fill your tank. We showed you the other side, the gravity fill with the fresh water. You can take and run this out to the campground. You hook this up and you turn on your spigot and you're good to go. And again, you have a water filter here. A lot of people like to take and use those disposable filters, and you can do that. When you are done, you simply reel this right back in. And there's even a cap here. If you want to put the cap on, you can, and you are set for the next time. Now, let's say you are somewhere, you're visiting some friends or some relatives, some family, and this hose isn't going to be long enough because you're parked in the street, but you want a little water in your tank and you're parked this way. Well, that's where this connection here is. The same thing. You're going to use the same hose, and you're going to take and twist it on, and then you can have a really, really long hose to run up to the faucet at wherever you're staying. You can turn that on and you can fill your tank here if the switch is on tank fill. And that's what's really nice about this system, is it's really laid out and makes it really easy to use. So if you're filling your tank, you go ahead and you put it on tank fill. When you are dry camping, simply turn it to dry camping. Now, when you are dry camping, your water pump needs to be on, and you can turn your water pump on from here. You can also turn it on using Rapid Camp Plus, and again, we'll walk through all the features and bells and whistles of Rapid Camp Plus, but you can turn your water pump on from here. If you are hooked up to city fixtures, okay, so you're at the campground, again, you can be hooked up to the power hose or you can be hooked up to here. You turn this to city fixtures. Now with your city fixtures, you're gonna get the water pressure from the campground. You do not need to have your water pump on when you are hooked to city fixtures. When you are ready to winterize or sanitize your fixtures, you can go ahead and turn the knob over right here to winterize and sanitize. Now these controls are for your water heater. Most of the time you're gonna wanna leave this in normal mode. When you are winterizing and you do not want the RV antifreeze going into your water heater, you just turn this to bypass, and then that will bypass your water heater. And when you are ready to sanitize your fresh tank, you go ahead and turn that to sanitize. So let me get this out of the way here, because we are going to hook up our hose, our sewer hose, and we are going to dump and flush our tanks. So one of the nice things about this setup down here is your connection is on a swivel. So you can keep it in the up position when you're traveling down the road. That way, if there's anything that didn't quite get drained, that it's not gonna slosh out for you. But there's also a cap on there. So in order to hook up your plumbing, what you'll wanna do is take and unscrew the porthole. You can just move that off to the side. You are going to take your 3-inch sewer hose, and one is not included with your Thor motor coach, but you run this up here, you take and remove the cap, set that off to the side, simply push that down to line it up. There are bayonet style fixtures on here, twist and lock. Now you are ready to dump your tanks. And when you dump your tanks, you're gonna start with your black handle. Your black is your sewage. You want that out of the system first. So you go ahead and you pull your black tank. First though, make sure this end is connected to the campground. You don't wanna accidentally have it sitting around. That would just be a nasty, nasty day. That would ruin your trip. So make sure this end is connected into the campground. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna pull your black tank. You're gonna let that flush through, and you will know when it's done because it will stop. The water will stop flowing. Now we got some nasty black tank water in there. Now you want to dump your gray tank. This is going to be your sinks and your showers. You pull the gray handle. Now the cleaner water will come through, work its way through the hose, and everything will drain out into the dump station. When you are done, reverse the procedure. Push in your black handle, and then you are going to push in your gray handle. You can also flush your tank, and you're gonna need another hose for that, not one of the white ones for drinking water. You're gonna just take a regular garden hose like this, sewer tank flush. You just take and you twist this on, just like that, and get yourself connected. Then you're gonna take this end, and you're gonna run it to this spigot at the campground, or you can, at the dump stations, a lot of times they'll have a special spigot for that. So you have this hooked up, you have your black tank pulled, now turn your water on. Now you're going to get a jet of water going through, and it is going to flush the tank out, and because your black handle is pulled, as that goes through, anything that comes loose is going to go down there. When you are done, you simply shut your black handle and turn off your water, and you are good to go. This is your water filter. You can take this off, you can change this out, and again, you have your power reel over here, and your wet bay is just that easy. Before we open this bay, just take note that you do have the exhaust here. This is the exhaust for your Aqua-Hot. This does run off of diesel fuel, so when you do have your diesel burner kicked on the Aqua-Hot, this is going to get hot. So just take note if you are opening this storage bay. And in here we have a few items to talk about. We do have our cable hookup. That's right up here. So when you go into the campground and you hook up your cable, it's just a coax you're going to screw in here, and you're going to run that to the campground. We'll show you how to tune your cable channels. We do have our electric here. This is nice. This is a 50 amp power cord. hooked up to our Surge Guard transfer switch. So you do have some surge protection here, just like you would at your house, because there are sensitive electronics in here. This is a 50 amp cord. Now your transfer switch, real quick, is sort of like your electricity police, and what that is going to do is that is going to determine the source of electricity. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from your 50 amp shore power cord? Is it coming from your generator? Where are you getting it from? It will make that determination. If you're running from your generator, give it a little time to switch over to your generator. You'll know when the generator kicks on all the electricity, because the light will come on and you'll hear a beep and you'll be ready to go because all the lights will come on. So let's talk a little bit about plugging into shore power. So to plug in, you're going to take this and you're going to run all the way out to your campground. And you're going to mysteriously have a stranger hand you this connection. This is a connection that's important to have. So we're going to talk a little bit about plugging in. So you have your 50 amp shore power cord here. When you walk this over to the campsite, make sure that all the breakers are off. You go and you plug this in, and then you can turn the breakers on. Sometimes you book a campground late. It happens to all of us. They don't have 50 amp service at the campsite you're going to stay at overnight. All they have is 30. You can use 30 amps in this. Now, you're not going to be able to run all 3 roof air conditioners and the microwave off of 30 amps, but you can have a nice, comfortable evening and still have a good time. So you're going to need an adapter. That real easily just plugs in to here, and now you can take and you can plug this into the 30 amp breaker. Again, make sure that it's off, and then once you're plugged in, turn it on. Now the adapter I took off, remember when we were talking about winterizing and storing and making sure that your batteries had a charge on them? Well, you use this, you plug that in, and now you can go ahead and plug into a regular receptacle and still get 110 and maintain the volts in your battery. So plugging in is easy. Now, one thing that I like to do with this electric cord here, just because it is nice, I always like to carry a rag and, you know, some cleaner, and you get that nice and wet. And then there's a little switch here. You just kind of hold this, you hold in your switch as this goes up. And you're going to keep the cable clean, you're going to keep it dry, and that way it's not nasty next time you touch it. Easy as that. And you can go ahead and put that all the way up, and you are ready until next time. Opening our next bay. Look at that, more storage. Now remember, we showed you the tray on the other side. Here it is on this side, so it's nice. You can load it from either side. And again, 800-pound capacity on there. Just real nice, so much storage in this motorhome. You'll be able to take everything with you that you would need. We are going to move up one bay. This is equipped with the Aqua-Hot 250D, so we'll show you what that's all about. In here, we have our Aqua-Hot 250D. This is going to supply you with hot water. It is also going to provide you with heat in your motorhome. We do not have propane on board the Venetian. So let's talk a little bit about our Aqua-Hot 250D, what it is and how it works. What it does is it uses an antifreeze solution that's right up here in this tank, and you need to bring that solution up to operating temperature before you get that continuous hot water. Now, to do this, you have to turn on the burner switch to the on position. That is going to be your main source for your Aqua-Hot. When you want continuous hot water, the burner needs to be on. Depending on the ambient temperature outside, it could take 10 minutes or so to get up to operating temperature so you get that flow of continuous hot water. Once you're there, there's an electric element you can turn on. That's going to help maintain the temperature, and it's also going to give you some light duty hot water, maybe for a quick shower. You do have the 110. Now, when you're plugged into shore power, we just showed you how to do that. The electric element is good for heat when it is not freezing out. Maybe some dishes here on the road, maybe a real fast rinse off, right? There's a little monthly maintenance you need to do out here as well. Pretty easy to do. You want to check this antifreeze in this tank here. If you do need to add it, you unscrew the cap and then you add up to the hot mark there, and then you'll have the right amount of fluid in there. Annually, part of that is a new fuel nozzle, and you are gonna wanna replace your fuel filter. We are gonna go inside here in a few minutes, and we are gonna connect to Rapid Camp Plus, and we'll show you how to operate the features and turn on the burner from there. Another big tire, you have your I-beam front axle with the 55-degree wheel cut. You have a fuel fill right up here. Again, we showed you the one on the other side, so you can pull into either side. And again, you just kind of line it up to right here, and you will be dead on with the pump. Down below, we do have the exhaust for your generator. Be aware that is going to get hot when your generator is running. And in this bay, we have a couple of items to talk about here, including the brains for your one-touch hydraulic leveling jacks. This is the reservoir for your hydraulic fluid. You also have hydraulic slides on this motorhome as well. So all of that is operated from here. In the event you would need to take and retract your jacks, everything is clearly labeled. You would just take and you would loosen up the valves, and then you would take a socket and run this in here, and then you can take and you can either run in your walls, or you can take and you can run up your jacks. But everything hydraulic from your jacks to your slide walls, this is where you're going to troubleshoot. And again, make sure that you have the right amount of hydraulic fluid in here. This lever here is how we release the hood. We're going to go up front and we're going to talk about that generator. Up front, before we pop the hood, we have our nice windshield. We have some marker lights up top. We do have our windshield wipers, daytime running lights, fog lights, and as we open the hood, once you pull that lever on the other side, there's a little handle in here. You just move that off. You lift up, and your generator is on a slide-out tray. So there's a button over here. You just hit the button, and out comes your 10,000 watt generator. This is going to power everything in your motorhome. You can run all 3 air conditioners at the same time. You can run the microwave. You can make some toast. You can dry your hair, all by running your generator. A few things to keep in mind: that you do need to do maintenance on this. It is recommended after the first 20 hours, you change your oil, and then the regular oil interval changing is 150 hours after that. And there's a little maintenance schedule on the side here. You do want to make sure that your fluids are filled. There's also a breaker out here. You do have a 45 amp breaker, so in the event that this is not starting for some reason, come on out, slide it out, make sure that your breaker isn't tripped. If it's tripped, all you have to do is reset it. What's nice is you can start your generator from here as well. Simply take and hold it down to prime, and you will see that the light turns red, and then you just hit start up top. It's going to take a couple of seconds here, just like that. Notice how quiet it is. I'm standing at the generator and I'm talking to you in a normal voice right now, so it really is just a quiet diesel generator. And the nice thing about this is it runs off of your fuel tank. So as long as you have gas in the tank, you'll be able to use your generator. Now, when you do get down to a quarter of a tank, it will not run your generator. That's a safety precaution so you don't run out of gas and get stranded somewhere. Now, you can run your generator your entire trip, and it's really kind of set up to really help you in a number of ways. We talked about your house battery switch when that is on. So when you're running your generator, that is going to charge your it's going to charge your house batteries. Now, if you have passengers with you and the cabin is hot because you can't keep them cool with just the AC right up here up front that you and the passenger have, you can go ahead and run this while you are driving down the road and run your air conditioners. That is a nice feature to have. And you heard how quiet it is too, so it's not really going to bother anybody. But you do have this nice 10,000 watt generator. You do have a Hobbs meter on the side to check the hours, again, to check your maintenance schedule. And then when you're ready to slide it back in, you just hold the button up and your generator will slide back in. We'll talk about the auto gen start feature on here as well when we go inside and start walking through all the features and functions of Rapid Camp, which we are about to do. A few other things I want to point out while we are under the hood. This is where you're going to refill your windshield wiper fluid. And right up here, this is actually a quick connect for an air chuck. We'll show you the air hose when we go inside. We're going to walk around to the side. We'll go back to the entry door because there are a few more switches on the entry door I want to talk about. We'll go inside. We'll sit down in the cockpit. We will talk about all the features and functions up there, and we're going to set up camp. Back to where we started. Before we fully go inside, I want to talk about a couple of features here. One, you'll see that these steps come out. Now, when we go ahead and we lower the motorhome and put the jacks down, this is going to drop by about 3 to 4 inches, so you won't have this high step up, and that's going to be automatic for you. But once you're set up, let's say you don't want the steps to go in and out every time you open and close the door. There's a switch in here that says step. All you have to do is turn that to the on position, And then when you shut the door, the steps will stay out. Now they're not going to come in and out every single time. Now, if you would forget to flip the switch back before you pack up and head out, we have got you covered. When the door is closed and the ignition is on, the step will automatically retract. So that's a nice little convenience feature. The other nice feature, these steps right here also go up. So for the passenger, your legs aren't going to dangle in the air. There is a switch in here called step cover. You hit up, these will raise up for you and it will form the floor for your feet. Now, if you don't want your feet on the floor, that chair also reclines, and we'll show you how to do that, but simply goes up and then you hit down and then your steps go down. There are a few other switches here as well. You do have some remote panels for your Rapid Camp Plus. They do come off the wall. Occasionally, you will need to take these off to replace the CR2032 coin batteries that power them. There's also a screen door on here too, so if you want some nice breeze, all you have to do is just take and there you go. Now you just have a nice screen door like that. Notice we turned the step off, so it is activated that way. In a day like today, you keep the door open, you get some nice breeze flowing, but we're gonna head inside and we are going to put our jacks down and our slide walls out. Now we're inside, we are ready to put down our jacks, we are ready to put out our slides, we are ready to have a great time inside our Venetian. You have your key fob here, which has a couple of functions on there. You can lock and unlock your doors. You can also take and use the push button start to start your engines, because you do need to have your motor running for your slides. So you can either press the button in or just press the key to there, foot on the brake, hold the push button start in, breathe some life into the beast. All right, so you need to make sure that you are in neutral. You need to make sure that your parking brake is on. Over here you have a number of switches. The one we are going to focus on right now is your ultra level one-touch leveling jacks. You hit the on button and you hit auto. And what's nice here is when you press auto, even before the leveling begins, the air is automatically dumped from the airbags. And now your jacks will come down and level out your coach. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind with your jacks as they come down. Don't be walking in and out and up and down and all around them. You know, we're excited to get out, but make sure that you kind of stay stationary so your jacks will come down, your coach will level the way you want it. You can go out when they have come down and you can check to make sure that they are all down and none of your tires are off the ground. You do not want your tires to come off the ground. I would also recommend you carry jack pads with you. Want a coach of this size with the jacks coming down. Make sure you're putting some jack pads under there. A lot of campgrounds require it. You don't want to take, and I can feel my front tires coming off the ground right now. You saw the wheel turn. So what we'll end up doing here is we'll retract them all and we'll put those down manually, and you can do that real easy too. You hit the manual button and then you can put them down in pairs, whether the front, the rear, the left, or the right. And then what you'll do is you'll have a spotter. So what we'll do is after these are done, I'll have Tom go out and I'll manually put these jacks down. But again, as I get back to the jack pads, make sure you're carrying jack pads with you because you don't want your jacks to sink into the sand. You don't want them to do damage to the asphalt. And again, a lot of campgrounds do require you to have jack pads. The jacks are still going down. Sometimes you'll get a low volt light. If you do get a low volt light, you're just gonna have to let the engine run until the power comes out. And we did get the green light. You know what I'm gonna do is take a quick check out here. And you know what, it did level. We are firmly planted on the ground there, so that is a good sign. Now, when it comes time to retract your jacks, what you are gonna wanna do again, you're going to need to have your engine on. You need to have your parking brake set. You pull that out. The parking brake you pull out to set your brake. You push it in. And again, these are airbags, and there are indicators up here to let you know where your airbags are. We're going to give you a complete walk through the dash here in just a few minutes. But when you are retracting your jacks, and you're going to want to take and put your slide walls in before you retract your jacks, we'll put our slide walls out here in a minute, and then you simply hit retract all, and then your jacks will come up. I'm going to set the keys right over here. You do want to keep them close to your proximity sensor right here. You don't want to set them somewhere off to the side or the motorhome will lose track of that. So we're going to walk through a lot of these switches here, over to these switches, and then we'll talk a little navigation while we're up here. and then we'll walk back and we'll go ahead and we will put out our slide. So over here on this control panel, you have a number of different switches. Over here you do have your air horn. You can either have, or when you're on the highway, you need to get some attention. All right, that's your air horn switch. You have your dash fans. Right now they're pointed at you. You know, they'll blow your hair. You'll look like a superhero. That's not how they're supposed to be pointed. What you need to do is you go ahead and you point those at your windshield. These are actually going to help defrost your window. That's what those are there for. So you can turn those on. You push those up for high. You push the button down for low, 3-position switch. In the middle is off. Next to this, you have a button labeled tag dump, auto, and off. You're going to want to keep this in auto. There are a lot of features to this. Again, we walked over what a tag axle is, but here's what this button does, how it works, and how it's going to benefit you.
When you have the switch in auto, as soon as you put the motorhome in reverse, the airbags dump on the tag axle. When you are driving forward, the bags will stay dumped until you reach 5 miles per hour. At that speed, the bags start to inflate. If you want to dump the tag bags to make a tight turn and you want to take the weight off the rear axle so you do not drag the wheels, take the switch out of auto and hold it down. Doing this makes the rear axle the pivot point, not the tag axle. And here's a little trick to dump air from the system without going in reverse. Say you're pulling into a garage or you're traveling under a low-hanging branch. Because the airbags automatically dump when you hit the auto button on the one-touch leveling jacks, quickly push that auto button on the touchpad, then hit the off button. This lowers the coach a few inches to give you more clearance. And then as soon as you get over 5 miles per hour, the bags will inflate.
Straight up, we have a button labeled cabin lights. These are the lights right up above. You hold that down, they come on, they come off. We do have our service light. This service light button is for the bay right down to your side, the one with the hydraulic setup in there. That's where this is. The service light is there. Your docking lights, you push that down till the green light is on. And again, we showed you those. You have one on the right side and left side, right in front of your rear tires there, and then up top in the back. Over here you have your mirror heat. These are heated mirrors, so on a frosty day you turn your mirror heat on and you can go ahead and defrost those. And over here is our auxiliary start button. Now we talked a little bit about batteries and keeping your house batteries on in the event that your chassis battery would be drained. Real easy to use this auxiliary start button. You hold this down, and this is going to take and draw juice from your house batteries into your chassis battery, and then you take and you hold your push button start down and you'll be able to fire up your coach. Right above those switches you do have the controls for your mirrors, just like in your car, left, right, up, down. You're going to dial those in. Again, we talked about adjusting this mirror. You can, if you have long arms like I do, you can reach out and adjust those, and if you can't, it's great to sit down here and then have your co-pilot go out and adjust your bottom mirrors, but you can adjust the top, left, and right mirrors from here. Nice cup holder here for a beverage on the go. You do have an air vent here. You do have your headlights here, and you can see that when you turn your brights on, that the dash will dim for you. And then we have a nice charging port right here, USB-A ports over here. And then we get into our dash. There are a lot of bells and whistles and features of this dash, and here's how this works.
Walking through the display, front and center, your speed, and you can see your parking brake is set. On the left, your tachometer. Inside the tach is your gear shift and shift mode. These are your fuel and coolant gauges, along with a reminder to use ultra-low sulfur diesel only. Here is the air PSI, which is mirrored on the right side next to your speedometer. Below, you have your oil pressure gauge and your DEF tank level. There's a little display for your battery volts and odometer. Up top are icons you need when you connect your phone for hands-free calling, signal strength, battery, and Bluetooth, and we're going to show you how to connect in just a few minutes. In the middle is your menu display, which you can customize using the steering wheel controls on the left side with the up and down arrows and the OK button. You also have a home button, a back arrow, and this button that looks like pages is how you bring up your menu options. The plus and minus buttons are volume controls. Let's dive into those menus. You have access to 2 trip meters. On top of showing miles passed, you can quickly and easily see how much time has elapsed, how many gallons of fuel you've used, fuel economy, average speed, and how many hours you've sat at idle. A quick tap of the OK button resets all the info for your next adventure. By selecting gauges, a trio of info boxes pops up. In this configuration, we see your gear, transmission temp, and boost gauges, but say you want to see something different. You can do that. By using the up and down arrow buttons, you can choose to display any 3 items in any order. Highlight the item you want to change, then use the up and down arrows to display another info box. Here, we now have engine load. This is distance to empty. Show your RPMs or oil pressure. You can even display the barometric pressure. Maybe you want to put your gear selection in the middle. Set this up however you want. This is a great way to keep an eye on what you think is the most important. Tap the back button and scroll down to the next item, and you can see the current fuel economy. Next down the list is vehicle configuration, and there are a number of options here. Topping the list is Bluetooth. If you want to pair a device, hit OK. On your phone, look for OPTIVW and connect to this. Now select Pair Device. Once it connects, the name displays here. You can connect multiple devices, but you need to pair them one at a time. Device priority allows you to choose what phone you want the system to answer when a call comes in. We'll show you how to handle your phone calls in just a minute here. Disconnecting a device from the system is as easy as scrolling to the Remove a Device and ditching the one you no longer want connected. Dash brightness is easy to figure out. Up for brighter, down for dimmer. New fob pairing is what you want if you get a new remote key fob. You would select this option and hit OK to pair your new key. Quick note, if the coach is not starting, simply press the push button start with the key fob to connect the two. Scrolling one down on the menu and we have your units, standard or metric. If you'd like to reset it all, simply reset to default. Moving on to the diagnostic tab, the system is going to search for you, and in the event a fault is found, it will be displayed here. You have an internal diagnostic section as well that lays out a number of features and if they are working or on or off. There are 3 pages full of items you can easily keep track of. The transmission prognostics page shows you the oil level, life of the filter, and percentage of oil life remaining. Finally, under System Info, you see the version, date, and status of the DriveTech software. Let's take a tour of the stalk on the right. This is your gear shifter. Swivel up for drive, neutral is in the middle, and reverse is a quick dial down. You can see on the digital dash what gear you are in. If you want manual gear selection, push the stalk towards the dash and a little M will appear on the display. Pull the lever toward you to shift gears. When you go past 5th, you return to auto, or you can press the stalk in to return to auto. To set your engine brake, pull the stalk down once for low, twice for medium, and 3 times for high. Staying on the same stalk, to switch between economy and performance mode, press and hold this button on the end. We showed you how the steering wheel controls on the left work for your menus, so let's move to the controls on the right. This is for your Bluetooth. When a call comes in, simply press the phone icon to answer. The speaker with the line mutes your call, and you press down here to hang up. This button is your marker light interrupter control. Your cruise control settings are here and easy to use. You have on and off, cancel, resume, and set.
Now something else to point out here, there is a difference in the braking in the tag axles in the non-tags. Your tag axles are going to have a 3-stage Jake brake, a Jacobs brake. It's actually a compression brake, and how that works essentially is when you let your foot off the gas and your piston comes up on the compression cycle, the injector is not going to fire off the fuel in there, but that compressed air is going to come out through your exhaust valve when that piston reaches the top, and it is going to slow your motorhome down. Now the non-tags have an exhaust brake, and how that works is there is a little butterfly valve after the turbo on the engine, and that is going to close partially, and that is going to trap in that air, and it's going to build pressure in your exhaust manifold, and that is going to slow down your engine mechanically. So those are the differences between the types of braking systems that you have on your tag and your non-tag axle. As we move over here, we do have our engine start stop. Again, that is how you can press it once, turn on the accessory mode, hold it down to start your motor. Another air vent. This is your HVAC, works just like it does in your car. You can turn on the snowflake and get max AC, your temperature, you can recirculate the air, and then you can direct where the air comes from. We're going to start here and work over here because these will tie into our infotainment center over here. We do have our map light button, which is going to be right here, and then you have another one down here over on the driver's side. You have your nightshade and your sunshade, and for this I'm going to take and stop the engine so I can show you how these work, because when the engine is on, these will only go down part way, which is a nice safety feature so you're not accidentally hitting the button and suddenly you can't see. But in the event you're driving into the bright sun, you can take and put those down partially. So our nightshade will come down when you want privacy. You can just hold this button in and it will come all the way down for you. On a bright sunny day, if you're driving into the sun, you can go ahead and put it down a little bit. It'll act as a visor. Your sunshade is this nice sun blocking material. You also have those over on the side here and throughout the coach on the windows. That'll keep a lot of that harsh light out. You can go ahead and put that down and block the harsh rays out. We'll talk a little bit about why that's important when we talk about air conditioning. And over here we do have a generator start button. We showed you how to start your generator outside. You can do it from your phone with Rapid Camp Plus. You can also do it back on the main screen. But again, just like we showed you outside, you simply hold the button down to prime it till the light comes on, and then you hold it up top and your generator will fire up. We move over to these ports over here. This is a 12-volt outlet here, and this one labeled Fusion is tied into your phone, which is tied into this amazing feature-rich touchscreen. This is an incredible system to use. This is going to be your home screen. It has navigation on it, which is real easy. You just hit your view map and now you're ready to navigate. You can put in, oh gosh, you can change all the settings down here. And what's nice is this is RV specific navigation, so it's going to ask you when you initially set this up, how long is your motorhome? How wide is it? How tall is it? How much does it weigh? And then you will be able to go down nice, safe, RV-friendly roads. You're not going to be stuck down a road where, you know, the bridge is only 11 feet. You're not going to be able to get under it. So it is going to take you down roads that are safe to travel in. You're not going to be going over bridges that are going to be dangerous. You hit where to, it's going to take you there. We do have Fusion Music, and again, we are hooked up to the phone. There's a couple of apps that you can download as well, some Garmin apps that I have downloaded here. There's a Fusion link, there's a smartphone link, and you can go in and here you have your radio. You also have Bluetooth connectivity on here. You can connect your phone for hands-free calling. You go back to this screen here. Look at this. There's a web browser, there's a calculator, because you never know when you're driving and you need to do sine and cosine. Yeah, a calculator on here. Here's your rear camera. Remember I talked about the camera? This is kind of nice. So you can pull this up at any time. You can see Tom and I are parked off over here to the left. You can pull up the right side. You can pull up the back, and again, you can pull up these at any time. As we go back to our screen here, you have your clock. Contacts, because this will tie into your phone for Bluetooth. This is voice activated. Document viewer, downloads email. I have it hooked. I just got an email from Chewy. My dog's prescription is on the way. File manager, your gallery. You can scrub through some photos here. Yeah, the notification is coming through. I'm getting a text. Your Fusion Music. We just were there. And your phone, settings, to go through your, everything here, from your display to your sound to the apps to your location. You can go, here's another shortcut for navigation. You go back over here to navigation, live track, owner's manual, smart notifications, traffic, your trip planner, your map, voice commands. Yeah, voice command. Find address. And you can go through and you can find your navigation that way. Weather, it's going to show you the weather, where we are. This is from the Goshen Airport, which isn't too far from where we are. A look at a nice crisp fall weekend. Ooh, 73 on Thursday. Chance of afternoon rain. That's going to be nice. Down into the 30s. Got some crisp fall weather on the way. And as we go through, it's going to take a look at where you've been, where you're going. There's all the apps. It works kind of like a tablet or a phone. Over here in settings we were through. I want to show you on your Fusion Music. You can go through presets. If you go through settings here, this is my favorite. Party bus settings. Yes, it is a party bus settings. You have Sirius XM satellite radio. On here you can hook up your iPod. So there's all kinds of settings on here. Again, there are a couple of apps that are specific to here. So you can take and download the Smart Link and the Fusion Link, and you will be good to go to connect here to here. And here's something else I want to point out. Owner's manual, because there is so much here. Hit your owner's manual, and when you do, it is going to bring up the entire manual, everything. It's going to bring up the entire manual on how to use this. So this would be a good time to go ahead and you can read all the details. I just kind of gave you a quick once over of what it does, but to really dive in, you're going to need to take a look at that. We do have another cup holder down here. We showed you the steps. Now what we're going to do is head back to Rapid Camp Plus, show you how to put out the slides. You could do it from here on your phone, but there are so many other features back there I want to show you. So we're going to spin around and head back there. So we're back at the Rapid Camp Plus main control panel. We've talked about using it on your phone, and we'll get connected to the phone first. You hit the little gear at the bottom, and that will bring up this screen, which we'll talk about in depth a little more. But first, I want to get you connected. Hit mobile app. It is called Vega Touch Mira. You can get it on the Google Play Store. You can get it on the Apple App Store. You'll look for the ID number. When that comes up, you'll type in the PIN. It will prompt you to change your PIN. You can go ahead and change that. Now you're connected from your phone, from your tablet. You can use this outside like we did with the patio to turn on the lights. You can put out your slides from down there. You can set your auto gen start. But for this, we are going to take and put the phone away, and we're going to talk about the main screen and show you all the features and functions back on the home screen. So you do have your light master here. First button right up. You can turn your lights all on or off by hitting that button. Right over here, we have your tank levels, your fresh, your gray, your black. You can keep your eye on it that way. Your water pump, remember we talked a little bit about your water pump. There's another switch outside on your whole home filtration system. Your water pump does need to be on when you are using water from your fresh tank. When you're plugged in to city fixtures, you turn your water pump off. Getting into your Aqua-Hot 250D, we talked about your diesel burner. That is going to be your main source of power. Aqua-Hot diesel, you turn it on there. Aqua-Hot electric, you turn it on there. This is going to be your furnace. This is going to be hot water for your showers, for doing your laundry. This runs off your diesel tank, and when you're camping, it's going to run off at 12 volts DC. When you're plugged into shore power, the 250D is going to use a 110 volt electric element. And this is where you turn that on, Aqua-Hot electric. So for water, you're going to get 1.5 gallon per minute flow at 110 to 120 degree Fahrenheit. For getting your Venetian nice and toasty warm, the furnace is going to give you 40,000 BTUs per hour. And the nice part is it does not remove moisture from the air. But your Aqua-Hot diesel, you're going to want that on. That main burner is what is going to give you your hot water and your furnace. And again, when it's cold outside, it could take 10 to 15 minutes to properly heat up to operating temperature to get the continuous flow of hot water. So Aqua-Hot diesel, you're going to want to take and turn that on. As we move down to our climate, we have rear, mid, and front ACs. This has three 15,000 BTU low profile AC units with heat pumps on there. Now it's important to note that when it is colder than 45 degrees like it is here today, it's about 37, 38 degrees this morning, you do not want to turn your heat pumps on. You will ruin those. 45 degrees, anything colder than that, do not turn your heat pumps on. The air will be too cold. You can monitor your temperature from here. You get rear, mid, front. We'll get into our climates when we get down here. Over here you can see your house battery voltage, your chassis battery voltage. You can monitor your power. You can see that we are plugged in. There is an inverter on here that we can turn on, and we will get into that as we move on down to our power. But the next button up is lights. So from here you can turn on all of your lights. Again, you have your master on, your master off. Every single light in this motorhome, inside and out, can be controlled from here. And again, if you have that on your phone or your device, you can control that from your phone or device. What's nice here is there are a number of lights that do have arrows on those. When you do have the arrow light, that means it is a dimmable light fixture, and you can hold that button down and the lights will dim. I'm dimming the lights in the ceiling. You set the mood, and you can just hold it back again, and they will go on. Now, the nice thing is they will remember where you had those dimmed, so it will be at that setting when you go back into the bedroom. You hold it back down, and they get exactly where you want them when you want it nice and bright, when you're getting ready, changed, reading, whatever it may be. So all your lights are here. As we move down to the power button, we have our power source. We are plugged into shore power here. We have our transfer switch, which we talked about. This is going to take us over. You can see we do have our breaker box, which we are going to talk about our breaker box here. So it goes from your transfer switch to your breaker box. There's your inverter charger to your house battery. We do have a pure sine inverter on this motorhome, and what your inverter is going to do is take and draw power from your 12-volt batteries and is going to change that over so you can use your 110 outlets. So when you turn your inverter on, your refrigerator is going to be running. Your televisions will run. There are a number of outlets that are connected to that. You're going to find the schematics with the specific outlets on the owner's resource page, and we'll talk about that here at the end of the video. Now, one thing to keep in mind with your inverter, because it is drawing power from your house batteries, it is going to take and run those down. But when we show you how to set your auto gen start, you can set your auto gen start to go on when the voltage drops to a certain point. You can pick what that level is. Then it will fire up, the generator will kick on, okay? So again, so that'll go back to your transfer switch, and the coach will know that it is getting power from your generator, and then you will charge your batteries. After the voltage is reached that you want it to, your generator will shut off, and you'll go ahead and you'll be running on your inverter again. So it's a great system and setup, so you won't kill your batteries, you won't drain your batteries. You can see the charge rate on our chassis battery now is 100%. Here's our inverter. We can go ahead and we can, right now we are plugged in, we have the motor running, but we are plugged into shore power, so you don't need that on. You also have settings for your charger. For over here right under your inverter, it's an inverter charger. You have your AGS, your auto gen start, your engine block heater, and there's your inverter charger over here, and this is going to bring up the status, a number of different features here. We do have a complete walkthrough of your Rapid Camp Plus settings. We're going to attach the link down below in the description, but there are a lot of features here. Let's go through your auto gen start. We talked a little bit about that. You can enable that. You hold the enable button down for 3 seconds, and then you release, and now you can choose your quiet time at your campground when your generator isn't going to be running, when you're not allowed to run it. Do you want it to trigger through your low volts, through your HVAC? You can choose both of those. It will tell you how many hours are on the generator. Your quiet time, your start time, what volts do you want it to start at, to drop down when it gets down to what? Where do you want it to start? Right now it's at 12.5. So a lot of features on here. How long do you want your generator to run? How many times do you want it to retry? So you can go ahead and really hone this in and dial it into how you want it to, from the low volts to the HVAC, so the air conditioner will kick on and cool your coach down. As we move down to our slides, confirm. Now we're going to take, and we do need to put out our slides. We do have the jacks down, the engine is running. Your slide motors the slides will not go out unless your engine is running. So what you're going to do is, what slide do you want to put out first? You can pick. Let's go ahead and put out our driver's side slide. Again, these are hydraulic slides. You just hold the button down. They're very quiet. They are very fast, and out they go. Now, the one thing to note, when the slide is in, and especially behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat, there's a little bit of space like this. Make sure you don't set anything there. Like if you have a favorite book, or you have a briefcase or a laptop or a tablet, don't set it there, because if you forget that it's there and it is behind the slide wall and it gets caught in there, because these are hydraulic, you will crush it. You will destroy it. These are very, very powerful. The slide is out. We do the same thing to our bed slide here, and because this is a tilt-a-view bed, it is going to ask you, is your bed up? Especially when you put that in. You can just, out they go. And now our slides are set up. They are out, and we have created a massive amount of living space, which we are going to show you when we work through here. You can put your awnings out from here, the side awning, the door awning. Over here we do have some fans. We have fans in the kitchen, in the mid bath. We have fans in the rear bath. We have fans in the bedroom. What's nice is you can open and control the vents from here. They have high, they have low. You can manually do it as well. The bedroom fan is a ceiling fan, by the way, but for the kitchen fan and the bath fans, there are covers over the top of them, which is nice. So if it's raining, you're not going to get rain inside of your motorhome. And finally, we get back to the settings page. We talked about the mobile app. If something's not working, you can go to network diagnostics. All the lights are green when everything is working. There are no reds, there are no faults. As we move back to temperature units, yep, you can choose Fahrenheit or Celsius. This tells us we're in the Venetian B42. You can adjust your screen brightness. You can set auto dimming. Cleaning mode, if you want to clean the screen because it gets all smudgy, you hold down cleaning mode. It'll go black for 15 seconds. You wipe it up and then it will pop back on. And then you can set your clock here, your hours, your minutes. You can also choose 24-hour time. And that is a quick once-over of your Rapid Camp Plus. We have a lot of living features to talk about, so we're going to move back up front. We're going to show you the drop-down overhead bunk. We're going to spin around our captain chairs, and then we'll walk through all the features and functions inside your living area. Starting up front, we showed you everything down below at the steering wheel, but up above we have a television. We have some storage up here. We are going to talk about your entertainment because we do have a Traveler satellite dish. We do have a Blu-ray player, so we'll get into all your entertainment options here in a little bit, but you can see a lot of storage bays. We have speakers for your radio. We talked about the roller shades, real nice and easy to use. And we do have map lights up there. You want a little reading, you can do that. Maybe a little sleeping right up here. So this bunk is key operated. Drop down overhead bunk, you turn the key to on, you press the down button. Nice and fast, down she comes. There is a ladder that is stored in the back here that you just pop up here, and you have a nice sized bed. In the morning, you simply hit the up button and up she goes. Just like that. Now, a couple of things here with these seats. Make sure they are leaned back when you put your bed down and when the bed is up and you want a little extra living space. There's a little button on the side here. You just press that up and these chairs will spin around. You do have armrests that are adjustable right in here. There's a little control lever so you can adjust the armrest where you want it to go. You can hear the gearing in there. What's really neat about this one over here, you sit down and it is on this side. There's a little control button here. Ooh, look at that, electric recliner. So you're there and you can lean back. This is good stuff, right? This is great stuff. So a nice part of your living area. And we're going to take a look through your living area. And one thing I want to point out, this particular floor plan, we have the very large sofa. We have an extremely large Dream Dinette, but you can also get theater seating. There is theater seating option, looks just like this. Little lever on the side, you press that lever and you can put your feet up and enjoy some nice theater seating. So in this floor plan though, we are going to talk about our sofa and our dinette. So let's look at the sofa here. We do have 1, 2, 3 seat belts. In the dinette we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7, 8, 9 people can ride in here. So you're sitting here by day, you're enjoying it, you're watching the TV, there's a sound bar, some great entertainment in here, but at night, when you're ready to make this into a bed, you take and you move your pillows. And you go ahead and you move your cushions. Right off to the side there. And you can tuck your seat belts away, but you lift up and pull out just like this. There you go. You push that down. This folds down. You can put if you want to put the headrest back here, you can. All right. So now you have a nice bed here. You have lights up here above the bed. You have this wall sconce you can turn off from here, or do it the old-fashioned way with a press button, or you can race the two. Whatever you want to do. All right. In the morning, you want to take and put your bed up. One thing to take note of, this window here is an escape exit window, an egress window. Don't open it for a breeze. You pop the handle up, you push it out. The glass will fall out and you can climb out. The other window you can open, and in order to open that, you just turn it clockwise to open, counterclockwise to shut. Folding up the bed, just reverse the procedure. There's a nice little handle here for you. You put your legs down, just like that. Drop it down, you put your cushions back into place. And now you are back into couch mode. Let's talk a little bit about this Dream Dinette. Move your pillows back over here. All right, so over here we have our television, we have our sound bar. We'll talk through the Dream Dinette, then we'll talk entertainment. A lot of great storage up above. Easily sit 4 here. I mean, this is just huge, just a massive, massive Dream Dinette. A couple of things to talk about here though, when you remove your back cushions. All right, there are also side cushions here as well. So, I mean, if you wanted to sit in here and kick back this way, talk to the folks over there on the couch, put your feet up this way, nice opposing seating. You have some storage under here for your blankets, which we are about to need. So you lift these up. Those are out of the way. Your subwoofer's down there. Yeah, you got a subwoofer in here, so some nice entertainment. You have 2 handles under here, so you turn the handles, you push down, you put your seats back in place. You have 2 cushions that are stored in the back. I just moved them up here for convenience. You put your cushions into place here. And now you have, and let me show you how big this is. And I'm not gonna put my feet on the bed, but you can see Department of Transportation has me at 6'1". I still have plenty of headroom here. And look at that. About that much room down there, so a very large sleeping area here. In the morning, when you are done, you just reverse the procedure. You put these back. And you lift your cushions here. Take your blankets, your stuffed animals, whatever it is. Lift up. You lock the handles. Push your cushions down. And you put your back cushions back in place. Look at that. Now you're back into breakfast mode. So how about we talk a little bit about your TV and your sound bar here. So the way that this is tied in together is this is going to be a wonderful sound bar home theater system. You have the subwoofer under here, Bluetooth sound bar. So if you want to use it for music, you can pair your phone with it and you can play the music through there, or you can hook up your television. We do have a bag of remotes that you can store wherever you want. Right here, they just happen to be in the top drawer, but you do have remotes for everything in here. Look at that. Remotes for your sound bars, remotes for your TVs, remotes for your Blu-ray player. Here's the remote for that particular sound bar. Here's the remote for the Blu-ray player. We're going to take and show you a couple of things up here with this Blu-ray player. So in this cabinet here, we do have a number of entertainment options to talk about. We do have a couple of switches back here. We talked about your cable hookup, or if you are connected to, because this has a Winegard Connect 2.0 4G hotspot and Wi-Fi extender, what that is going to do is give you a internet connection when you're on the road. So what you do is you log on to the Winegard, you download the app, you can purchase a data plan through there, or if you enjoy your current cell phone provider, you can buy a SIM card and you can plug it in up top. And now you have data on the road, which is important for a number of different things we're going to talk about here as we work our way through the entertainment. So we also have a Winegard Traveler satellite dish on top, and you do have your plug here. So if you want a satellite TV, you can get that. We do have an HDMI switcher, we do have a Blu-ray player, and we do have our remote controls. Now let's talk a little bit about the hotspot, the Winegard Connect 2.0. So you logged in and you set up your account and you just created a hotspot. So now you have internet no matter where you happen to be. You've created your own password, or maybe you've tapped into the Wi-Fi at a nearby campground or the Cracker Barrel or wherever you happen to be set up. You can also use that Wi-Fi signal and create your own password off of that. That way you're not remembering campground passwords or whatever. You create your own password from there. Now you are connected, you have internet. You have a smart TV in here, okay? So you can now, look at that, there's Netflix, there's Google Play. You can download all of that once you are connected to the internet. Or if you have a streaming device, you can plug into the HDMI converter up here, and maybe you have a Roku or an Apple TV. You can hook that up and you can connect that to the Wi-Fi signal you created, and now you can stream all your favorite shows there. So there's all kinds of entertainment in here, and there are even a couple of TVs in the back we're going to talk about, but real easy to use. Again, when you're hooking up to the campground, the Winegard that we talked about that you get your Wi-Fi from is also your radio and your TV antenna here. And when you want to take and connect to the cable at the campground, you press the button and make sure that it is off. There's no green light. When you want to tune in the local channels, wherever you are, maybe you want the local forecast, you hit that button, make sure it's green, and now you're going to tune in all of those local channels. All right, we are going to turn around and we are going to take and walk through the kitchen.
If your Thor motor coach is equipped with the fireplace, you can set the mood and the perfect temperature in your living area. In order for the fireplace to work, you need to be plugged into shore power or have the generator running. The button on the far right is the power switch. Press it to turn the fireplace on or off. With the button above the light bulb icon, you can change the color from this warm yellow-orange to a cool blue or a mix of both. Simply press to cycle through the colors until you have the one you want. The next button over allows you to control the brightness of the fireplace. Press to dim or brighten the flames. The thermometer is how you change the temperature. Just press until you have your desired temp. If you want just the flames with no heat, press until you see the words off.
Whatever Venetian floor plan you go with, you're going to have a large kitchen. They are going to look a little different. Some are going to have a pull-out countertop extension. Some may be over on the campsite, but you get the same great features such as solid surface countertops. That's fantastic to have. You also have these solid surface, and they match, nice solid surface covers for your double bowl stainless steel sink. You can, if you need more counter space, which is hard to believe because you have this nice shelf up here, but if you would, you can pop those in place. There's also a nice storage bin down here. You can drop those in there. We have a nice lockable wooden drawer here. Look at the size of that. Pots and pans, whatever you need to put in there, you can. You can lock that up. It's not going to come out on you when you drive. Over here, we do have our induction cooktop, our electric induction cooktop. And what's really neat about this, a couple of features here that I like. One is you can take this out with you. So if you set up a picnic table outside, whatever, you plug it into the outlets we showed you, and now you can go ahead and you can do some cooking outside. And because this is an electric induction, you do need to use a pan that has magnetic properties. Now, I like to use a cast iron skillet. You know, everybody's got their favorite cooking tools. You can use that on here. So it's great. You can take it from the fire pit to here to even using this outside. You have different controls on here from your temperature to your heat. There's a timer on here. You have two burners. Up here you have a microwave where you can, let's set the clock. Let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, hit select. 1 display AM, 2 for PM, and now it is 12:34. That's a pretty good guess. It's actually 12:41. But so you set your clock here. This is a convection microwave, and what this is going to do is take place of your oven. There are all kinds of buttons over here. You can convect, you can defrost, you can soften. And I'll tell you, the soften and melt feature is fantastic. You can steam. We use the steam. I have a convection microwave like this at home. I like these so much that I actually bought one and put it into my house. We use it to steam all the time. When I'm baking, I can soften the chocolate. You can reheat. There's an auto cook. Kids menu as well. All kinds of buttons in here. So if you're interested in really all of the things you can make in this, we do have a cooking channel for you. It is called Mobile Meals. It's on our YouTube channel, and it is taking you through all of the great recipes you can make using your convection microwave and your electric induction cooktop. If you don't have to be in an RV to enjoy the recipes. You can go ahead and make them in your home kitchen as well. But some great options here. You even have a light. You have an exhaust fan, high, medium, low, and off. You have a couple of outlets. You have a 110 there. This particular model happens to have here. You do have 3 plugs there, so you can set, you know, coffee makers or whatever you have up there. All kinds of storage down here. Extra water filter. You do have under the hood where the generator is, the port for your air compressor we talked about. There's your air hose. Look at that. Nice storage here. You're also going to get touch-up paint, so in the event you would accidentally get a scratch in there, or maybe you're, you know, throwing something into the bays, the golf club hits it, you can always touch it up here. And the nice thing is because this is a Sikkens paint, it's a really high-end paint, it never really fully cures, so it is real easy to rub out fine scratches, and it looks brand new. The kitchen also has a residential refrigerator, so we're going to swing over and show you that. Here is your residential refrigerator. It's nice as it has a lock, so it will lock. The doors won't come flying open if you have to take a sharp curve. But look at that. You have all kinds of room in here. Again, this is a residential refrigerator. You have all the shelves. They are adjustable right now. Everything is taped up into place as this is a brand new motor home. We have an indoor ice machine. And this is really, really nice. Oh gosh, where do you want to start on here? So you can choose your ice cube type. All right, do you want crushed? Do you want cubed? You can turn your light on there. You can adjust the temperature. You have a number of options here. You do have a water dispenser and an ice dispenser on this as well. So everything that you need that you would have at home, you're going to have here. And what's nice about this is you are surrounded by massive, massive pantries. These lock into place. Nice wooden shelves. You have a couple over here, and you have a couple over here. And you can fit anything you need into these things. Look at all this. Lots of storage in here. And again, just go ahead and lock those up, put those into place before you hit the road. And that way your Fruity Pebbles don't come flying out while you're driving down the street. And lock that up, shut the doors, and there you go. Lots and lots of kitchen space. We do have a couple of bathrooms to talk about, so we're going to stop midship. We got bunks and bathrooms. So this Venetian floor plan has 2 full baths, and it's going to vary. You may have a bath and a half, but what's nice about this floor plan that I can show you is we do have a foot flush toilet up front, and when we get into the master bath in the back, we are going to talk about a macerator toilet. But a lot of the features are the same. You have the nice same solid surface countertops. You have plenty of storage, place for your TP, a place for your towels, nice large medicine cabinet. And we talked a little bit about GFCI outlets in the event that there's an outlet, maybe it's the exterior ones or maybe it's one up front that's not working. In the event it is not, come back in here, and if you see that the green light is on, that means it is tripped. So you can come back here, hit reset, and there's 9 out of 10 chances that your outlet will again work. We will talk about your fuse box here in a couple of minutes in case that doesn't solve the trick. You have a shower here with a nice glass door, a nice fiberglass surround, easy to clean. There are cleaning instructions in here as well. You do have this on a wand and a latch, which you're always going to want to make sure that it is latched. Let's talk a little bit about your toilet here. This is a foot flush toilet. So this is going to work with the foot flush halfway down. Fill that bowl up, okay? So get some water in the bowl first, then you go ahead, do your business, and then you hold that down all the way to flush. Keep holding it down until everything is cleaned out. Now it is important to note in the bathrooms here, both this and in the back, you are going to need to use an RV or marine specific toilet paper. Don't use your favorite at home, off the shelf, whatever it is. If there's bears on the package, leave the bears at home. Marine grade or RV grade toilet paper, it is going to break down faster in your tanks. It is not going to clog up the plumbing in your system. So make sure that you are doing that. And as we move down a little more, we have the dustpan. Yeah, that is the dustpan for your vacuum, your central vac system. So we're going to get that out. We're going to hook that up and show you how to keep your hand-laid porcelain tile floors clean. So you do have a vacuum. It comes with all of the tools and gadgets you need. We showed you down below where to change the bag. What you're going to do is take this end with the silver ring and you're going to plug it into here. You're going to take and put on the attachment of your choice. Maybe it's just sweeping up a little bit. Maybe you need to sweep the floor a little bit with the brush. And to turn it on, over here where I showed you with my foot, the little dustpan, you can sweep up with the broom little things and then go over here and sweep them into here, a little dustpan. But when you want to use the vacuum, just hit the button over here to turns it on, and boy, we tracked in a lot of dirt, Tom. So now you're going ahead and you're sweeping your floor just like that. Press the button to turn it off. When you are done, you just go out and you empty the bag when it's full. Easy, easy, easy to keep your Venetian clean. We are in the Venetian B42. This is the Bunkhouse model. You have two large, nice, comfortable, heavy-duty bunks here. You do have two mattresses down here. You'll unwrap those, throw one up top here. Here is your ladder. You can go ahead and set that in there, climb up. Each bunk has its own light. You do have your privacy shades back here as well. You also have a curtain, and what's nice is you have pocket doors, so you can actually take and shut this area off from the master bedroom and have your own little lounge here, a nice closet. Go ahead and hang your coats in there, whatever you need. So lots of great sleeping areas back here, and we're gonna spin around and show you the master bedroom. And you wanna talk about a lot of room and a comfortable bed. Wait till you see what we got next. Closet space is amazing back here. You do have lots of wardrobe room. You have hanging bars up here, adjustable shelves. You have drawers down below, 3 on each side. You have this large cabinet here with a pull-out shelf for jeans or shoes or hats, whatever you may need. Another TV, and behind the TV, you do have some storage. Again, we have HDMI switcher, we do have a Blu-ray player, and in here are the outlets and plugs and whatnot for all of your entertainment devices. Another closet down here, and we do have a king-size tilt-a-view bed. We're gonna show you how this works. How about sleeping on this? King-size tilt-a-view bed, very, very comfortable, real easy to work. You have a switch right up here. You can put the bed in the up position like this. It does need to be in the up position before you bring the slide in, and when you do, you are gonna get a warning on your Rapid Camp Plus system. To bring it down, you just press the button and down she comes. You even have push button reading lights above. You have a Rapid Camp Plus remote switch right over here on the wall. This will help you turn on the ceiling fan. You can control some lights back here. In the morning, you can go ahead and put the bed right back up. You do have USB outlets in the nightstands here. You can also bring along a portable CPAP machine if you need. There's room for that and outlets for that. So everything you need in a bedroom, lots of storage up above as well. So you are set in the bedroom, and there is even more room and more features to talk about in the master bath. We are in the second bath in the back. This has another very large shower with skylight. You have a sliding glass door. Again, you are going to want to make sure that the door is locked into place before you hit the road. You have a seat in there. You have your sink. You have all kinds of room back here. More space for towels, for soaps, for extra linens, whatever you need. Over here, you have a stackable washer and dryer. We showed you the dryer vent outside. So laundry on the go, yeah, you know what? You can actually do laundry on the go as long as your water pump is on and either your generator is on. You can go ahead and do laundry in between stops on the road. How cool is that? Also in here, we do have a macerator toilet. Now the same rules apply about the toilet paper. However, it's not a foot flush. You have a switch over here on the wall. Your settings are eco, normal, and empty. So if you want just a little bit of water, stay eco-friendly, hit the eco button. You know, you hit the normal button for normal duties, I guess, if you would, and then you hit the empty button to go ahead and flush. But again, the same toilet paper rules. There she goes down into your black tank. And now you know how to dump your black tank. It's as simple as that. And down below, what I'm standing on, I'm going to take a step over to my right. I'm going to show you how to access your engine. So if you need to access your engine, you just simply lift these silver tabs, you turn until they unlock, and then you lift up. Ooh, look at that. There you go. So if you ever need to get down there or you're having it serviced, this is how you go in through the top. When you are done, you just push that back into place, turn the knobs to lock, push them down, and you're set. So we showed you where the resettable 12-volt fuses are outside. So let's talk about your breakers. In this particular Venetian floor plan, they are located here under this cool secret panel. All you have to do is press this button and it reveals all of your breakers, your main breakers, your water heater, your AC units, your washer, your cooktop. So if something isn't working, just like in your home, you can come back here and check and make sure that it If it's tripped, go ahead and reset it. Here's your GFCI. We talked a little bit about that. But if you need to reset one of your breakers, you're going to find it right in here. We always make this accessible so you'll be able to access it whether your slides are in or they are out. So I'm going to wrap up sitting on this very comfortable couch talking about what you will find in your motorhome when you take delivery. A black bag that looks like this. Yours will be much, much larger, full of a lot more materials, but essentially the same thing. Inside you're going to find a number of manuals. You're going to find a number of warranty cards. I would recommend you take and fill out those warranty cards because you're going to have a warranty card for your TV, for your refrigerator, for your microwave. Fill those out, get those sent in. You are also going to find the warranty guide and the owner's manual for Thor Motor Coach. Here's our warranty guide. We have a 12-year structural, 6-year lamination, and 1-year limited warranty. So you need to read this, make sure you're doing what you need to do to stay up with your warranty. There's also an owner's manual you're going to want to read, and it goes through a little more in depth on items such as automatic gen start, your GFCI outlets. Everything you need is in here, so make sure you're going ahead and reading this. It talks about tire wear. Remember how we talked a little bit about tire wear and tire scrub, especially when it comes to that tag axle. So make sure you are reading through here and you are familiar with your motorhome before you start to use it. The other thing I want to mention, and it is really a great resource for you, it is the owner's resource page on Thor Motor Coach. You go to thormotorcoach.com, click on owners, and then you're going to click on the owner's resource tab. That is going to bring up this screen. In here you sign up. We need your email, phone number, your name. You put in your VIN number, and then it's going to pull up a screen where you're going to have a number of owner's manuals, quick start guides. You can even pull up the MSRP from your motorhome. You're going to get a look at all the components that are specific to your motorhome. So if you'd ever need a schematic or a wiring diagram or a plumbing diagram, you can go there and you can download it. Videos for quick start guides. We have an entire list of videos for you. We have one that we're going to link down below. We talked about Rapid Camp Plus. There's one for your jacks. There's one for your slides. So a number of great resources are there for you at thormotorcoach.com on the owner's resource page. So we hope that you found this useful, and we hope you enjoy your time on the road no matter where life happens to take you.